So glad to have Brent Wallace back on Daily Faceoff Live. You can catch him throughout the week talking Ottawa Senators on Coming In Hot, part of the Nation Network family. Brent, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, boys. Nice to see you on a Monday.
Yeah, always good to be with you. Let's talk about that Sens sale and the process, because this
Oh,
has
God.
dragged on way longer than anyone might have anticipated. And I can tell by your groan that not only are you ready for it to be over, but potentially when you see someone like a Steve Apostolopoulos walk away, that and he a well qualified bidder, that perhaps the NHL and the Melnick estate needs to get things moving.
Like, it's so frustrating. It's a complete disaster of epic proportions, if I'm being honest. Because, listen, a lot of times we don't know what's going on behind the scenes because it's supposed to be, as you guys know, fairly quiet. We're never supposed to hear who all the bidders are. This thing has been public partially due to all the celebrity interest in it. But now they seem to have fizzled away and we're down to the real business people. But to see people walk away that clearly seem to have a good vision, are well liked, as in the Apostolopoulos Group, it's disappointing and it's frustrating. It's disappointing to the fans too. We feel like it's being held hostage by you can't get any deals done. You can't help the on ice product because you continue to wait to see who's going to be paying for it. But like you said, the Melnick Group and whether the NHL has finally stepped in and went, whoa, enough is enough. Let's get this done. Now the reports are out, partially by Elliot Friedman, saying that they want the Melnick sisters, the daughters, want the buyers to now pay the capital gains taxes and whatnot. Like, it's the asks are getting ridiculous. Sell the team. Let's move on. Let's get this over with, please.
Is this not just the ghost of Eugene Melnick, like still
Yes.
poisoning the well? Like, honestly, he's like, until they're gone, until the family's out of this team, it's just going to continue being a mess. Like, let's go here. It's wild to see this because it's been such a mess for so long. I want to see the transition quickly in Ottawa, being one of their ex-players here. But I wonder, Wally, what's the downstream effect here? Like, you look at Alex DeBrincat, this guy should be getting a big contract. You'd want to keep him in-house. And I can't help but think of all this uncertainty in the market being a negative effect on the actual roster that they're going to ice next season. Am I wrong?
No, and that's exactly it. The fans in Ottawa, listen, they care about who the owner is, obviously, but they want to know how this is going to affect the on ice product. They're excited that someone's coming in with some deep pockets that will change things around. But right now, they're handcuffed. The draft is coming, free agency is coming, all that stuff. And Alex DeBrincat, and Frank, you help me out here because I know you know a little bit more about this, doesn't appear to necessarily want to return. I think maybe he's looking to go elsewhere, and I'm okay with that. I don't think that he's the fit in Ottawa. I've looked up all kinds of goal scorers. Like, Ottawa had 6 20 goal scorers last year. They're not going to miss having one guy not be in the lineup. Let's put it to you this way: Alex DeBrincat isn't going to make or break the Ottawa Senators winning the Stanley Cup. I think that's fair. So I'm okay if he moves on, but they've got to make a deal. They've got to figure this out, and this is holding everything up.
Yeah, the DeBrincat situation is fascinating because I think part of it, you'd have to be curious if you're him of, well, who is owning the team and who is going to be the manager and who is going to be the coach. And so that's part of it. But then also maybe there's a blessing in all of this for the Sens too. As you mentioned, how many guys can you pay with an $8 million plus salary cap hit? All of a sudden the Sens are going to begin to run out of cap space in short order after hoarding it for the last number of years. So perhaps, Wally, maybe that's the best transition to the next part of this question. It's not just the on ice part, but it's also sort of the off ice part of this process as well, because anyone that you talk to or anyone that Pierre Dorion has talked to, he's told them, I'm coming back. I'm going to be the GM of this team. The bidders all support me. I'm in. What is your sense of where this is at? Where does this land? And what does it mean for not just Pierre Dorion, but also DJ Smith?
I think that's wishful thinking. Now, let me preface it by saying we're getting late into the season here and getting into, like, if this thing doesn't close until September, then Pierre Dorion may very well start the year as a general manager. I don't know that he's going to be long term. I don't know that he survives getting through the initial ownership. I think there are some owners that are looking to bring in their own people and do that right away. Listen, they just didn't start this plan a couple months ago. They've been at it for a while, which, and means they've already thought of who their team is going to be. So, and we're hearing about, the Michael Andlauer Group maybe wanting to bring in Patrick Waugh as the head coach and Peter Chiarelli as an advisor and Steve Staios as the GM. Well, That pretty much sums up what they think of what the current management looks like in Ottawa. I still think DJ Smith survives. I think he gets one more year. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and then he's got a option by the team for the following year. Enough players have really come out and supported him, but I think perhaps he gets a longer leash. I don't know that Pierre Dorion does, but maybe. And I think that's a huge part. If I'm Alex DeBrincat, for instance, do I want to sign an 8-year deal not knowing exactly how this is going to play out? And he needs to be qualified at $9 million. It's a lot of money. I just don't see how things are going to transpire here until they get this deal done. It's just like sitting here waiting for something to happen.
Questions abound. The front office in Ottawa certainly walking on eggshells, in addition to a couple of their players as well. No shortage of fascinating stuff. You can dive into all of the latest on the Ottawa Senators with Brent Wallace, and coming in hot. A new episode drops today. Bobby Ryan, Jason York in the fold on a weekly basis. Thanks to Brent Wallace for joining us today for the All 32.